Today, we're gonna talk about skillfully aware. What really that is, and you're gonna get a really good context for how this meditation program that I'm teaching fits with what we learned last week. And last week we learned about living systems. Okay, so let's look at a slide right now that recaps a little of the living systems bit, and then you'll see how it fits in with skillfully aware. Okay, so what I really wanted you to take home last time was that life, okay, the life that's living inside of you and life wherever you find it, is a flow of energy and information that makes patterns, and it makes it by itself. And so inside of all of us, that flow of energy and information is being perceived by our eyes and our ears. We smell and taste and touch, right? So information is coming in from the world. Also, when that information comes in, it causes us to have thoughts. In the body then, and this is a completely interdependent network, so everything changes everything else. Triggering sights and sounds do cause thinking, and then the feeling that you feel in your body comes with it. Or, because the network is open, if the sensation starts in your body, like headache, that then causes thinking. Do you see? It's no matter where the trigger is, it's going to create a context, like a story, more energy and information that then flows. And that flow is going to make patterns. So patterns like depression, anxiety, addictions, chronic pain, eating disorders, and stuff that we don't think so much about as being medical conditions, like fussiness or just irritability. That's a pattern too that arises out of a context in a network, and that pattern could solidify itself in us. Okay, we can probably already relate. And so the important thing to know is totally interconnected, and the interactions, moment by moment, flickers of energy and information are all interacting with each other. That's the pattern itself that's made. It's the parts come together to make a whole. And then the whole, ultimately the pattern that's made, becomes very stable. And so people, when a person lines up things in their life like health and happiness through practice, the health and happiness are also very stable. A person has a lot of resource in terms of how much stress they're able to handle because of that very stable, healthy, happy pattern. Okay, it takes a lot to knock them off their spot. But the same is also true for the patterns that we don't like so much. You know, a person can fall into a depressed state and really good things can be happening around them, and yet the person can't access those happy feelings because they're stuck in a pattern. That's the way it works. All right, so that's really what I wanted to get across to you last time. We are living systems, and we live in a system, a family system, a culture, and it's information, energy, and matter flowing all the way through. All right. So, actions, karma, that word karma, that's how I want you to think about karma. Not like some weird mystical, schmystical something. It's like karma is actions that produce results, or the patterns. And if you want to change your karma, you have to be become more aware skillfully. Know how to do it so you can start working with the pattern of flowing actions. Okay, so that's a big part of what we learned last time. Affect the flow by working with the mind. So we're gonna talk about mind, and I gave you an introduction last time about what mind is. So consciousness, that space that allows all of the flowing actions. You can think about sensations, sights and sounds, thoughts. Everything that we're conscious of flows through that space. We talked about objects in space last time. Okay, so the mind is like a space. Okay, if I show you this, and I do that, and I do that, that space is not a something, but it's not a nothing either. Mind is like that, except it's awake, which is really strange. And then I told you how to begin orienting, understanding how to work with your mind. We talked about attention. Attention is a beam of your consciousness, and this is where the free will exists. We could decide to shine our attention on a given object. We can make that choice. But I also want you to know that's where the powerlessness resides as well. We're pre-programmed to pay attention to things. Everybody has a list of things they like and they dislike, and when one of those things shows up, if you're not mindful, if you don't stay aware, your attention by itself is going to go towards that thing and fixate on it, and then you're going to have thoughts and sensations as a result, and emotion. Okay, now awareness is different. Awareness is not directed, it's distributed. It's distributed into 3 domains. You can be aware of what's in the world, that's a space. You can be aware of what you feel in your body, that's also a space. And you can be aware of what you think in your mind. All 3 of those spaces put together, that's the whole space of your awareness. Talked about that last time. And then where the mindfulness comes in, and this is a choice now. You could hold your attention consciously on something and decide to stay awake and aware. We're doing that in the breath counting meditations. Notice that. We're learning how to become mindful by holding attention, working with attention, keeping it still, and staying awake and aware of the context, what's happening in the space. That's mindfulness. All right? Good.